contract to RK Bass for the installation of UV light emitters, phase 2, in an amount of not to exceed $250,000. Mr. Harmson, will you brief us on this, please?
Sure. Thank you for being available for this impromptu meeting. As you guys are all aware, we have been moving forward with the phase 1 installation of the UV light emitters. Those were handling the fan coil units, rooftop units throughout campus. All of that work was included originally in the phase 1 infrastructure that we had backed out. The one challenge that we could not figure out at the time, which was part of the reason we didn't bring it, we weren't sure we were necessarily going to do anything, were all of the fan coil units. We've got 3.5 buildings that have, they're like registers on the wall. We weren't sure how to address each of those individual fan coil units. In total, we've got about 265 throughout those 3.5 buildings. But through further conversation with RK Bass and the contractor or the vendor that we were purchasing them from, we found out that the UV lighting system that we have been installing would actually be a very effective tool for helping us to make sure that we've got some good disinfected air in those spaces. They are spaces that have students. They have student interaction area. We've got our business office. We've got student registration and some other areas. So having any additional protection in those areas would certainly be beneficial. We're coming for an estimated 200. It won't exceed $250,000. We've got about $110,000 in the cost of actual lamps and the housing to go ahead and install within each fan coil unit. About 100 of that is actually for replacement bulbs throughout campus. In order to maintain the effectiveness, you really need to be changing out the bulbs on an annual basis. So we've got some money in there, and then I include a little bit of contingency. So with this here, we've had conversations with the manufacturer. They said they certainly cannot guarantee, but with available CARES dollars, we thought it was worth the effort to go forward and see what we could do to go ahead and try to get this installed. With this, we should have pretty much complete coverage throughout the campus, anywhere we either have fan coil units or air handlers throughout campus. So the recommendation was to approve RK Bass for this project. I'll also mention RK Bass is on a purchasing cooperative. We have utilized them on a number of projects in the past. They were actually the low bidder on the last UV lighting project. So I feel completely confident that RK Bass can do a good job and has done a really good job working with us on pricing as well. So that's the recommendation from administration.
Okay. Do you have any questions of Mr. Harms?
Sounds as if it's a good project. We need to go ahead.
Yes. Are you ready for a motion?
I will take a motion if there's no other questions.
I move that we go ahead and use RK Bass for phase 2 or the extension of phase 1, whatever it is, for what he just explained.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion made and a second. Do we have any discussion on that motion? Okay, so I can't see her and some people on the phone or whatever. So what I'm going to do is call for a vote by name. So Mr. Towers?
He's here, sir.
Okay. Mr. Armstrong?
Yes. Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Hollinger?
Aye.
Mr. Beebe?
Aye.
Ms. Coley?
Yes.
Well, that gives us a quorum. So there are no negative votes, well, positive votes. So we'll approve this item. Next item on our agenda is recommending topics for upcoming agenda items or announcements by the board members. Does any board member wish to speak?
No, thank you.
No comments.
This
Announcement time,
Jimmy Towers.
location,
No,
board workshop. I'm sorry?
this Jimmy Towers. I just barely got on, so I know you've already voted. You have my approval. Go ahead.
The board workshop scheduled Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021 at 1 p.m. And a regular board meeting is scheduled for March the 30th, 2021 at 1 p.m. There's no executive session scheduled for today. We have no other information. Mr. Towers, do you have any recommendations or topics for upcoming agenda items or announcements?
No, I do not. Thank you.
In that case, and we're adjourned.
Thank you.
See y'all in March.
Hey,